In the previous video on nasolabial fold, facial kinetic chain training, we practiced several exercises that involves opening the mouth. From the feedback I've received, some people find those exercises difficult or even impossible to perform correctly because their jaw shifts to one side as soon as they open their mouth. If that sounds like you, then the first thing you may need to work on is not the local facial kinetic chain. Instead, you may need to go back and address the whole body structural kinetic chain related to the nasolabial folds first. I know that when many people notice the nasolabial folds, facial sagging, or facial asymmetry, their first reaction is usually, tell me where I should massage, which facial muscles should I train? Is there one exercise that can directly improve this area? This is why so many people prefer to go straight to videos about facial massage, face yoga, or facial lifting exercises. And I say exactly the same thing on my own channel. Videos that focus directly on facial massage or facial lifting always get significantly more views. But in structural anti-aging, our training sequence is often exactly the opposite, because the first question we ask is not how should you treat your face. Instead, we ask, why does your face need to compensate this way in the first place? If your jaw shifts to one side when you open your mouth, you need to look deeper. Is the problem coming from the movement control of the jaw itself? Or is there an imbalance in muscle tension between the left and the right sides of the neck? Is rotation of the rib cage affecting the position of the head and the neck? Is the pelvis asymmetrical? Or could the problem begin even further down with uneven foot support and weight distribution that have gradually created a long-term compensation pattern throughout the entire body? This is exactly why structural anti-aging is such a highly individualized process. Even when two people appear to have the same facial asymmetry, the compensation patterns behind it may be completely different. In fact, 10 people with facial asymmetry could have 10 different compensation pathways. For many people, the main issue may come from the jaw. For others, it may come from the neck. Some may have significant rib cage rotation. Others may have issues related to pelvic stability or uneven weight distribution between the left and right side of the body. And for some people, multiple systems may be compensating at the same time. So true structural anti-aging training is not about simply training the area where you see the problem. The correct sequence should be the step one is assessment, because first we need to identify where your body has lost the balance and where the compensation pattern actually begins. Step two is structural training. Based on your individual condition, we begin rebuilding coordination between the feet, pelvis, core, breathing system, rib cage, neck, and jaw. Step 3 is local facial techniques. Only after body begins to establish better support and control do we move into more refined facial training involving sensory awareness, muscle coordinations, and neuromotor control. So as you can see in my structural anti-aging system, we are not in a hurry to simply fix the face. What we truly want to understand is why did this face develop this particular compensation pattern in the first place. This is why I always emphasize the face is not isolated from the body. Your face reflects how your entire body organizes, supports, and adapts itself. Of course, every person's body is different. A single video cannot truly tell everyone whether their individual issue originates from the feet, pelvis, rib cage, neck, jaw, or from multiple systems working together. This is also why in my personal coaching service, the first step is never to immediately start exercising. The first step is always a systematic structural assessment. I first observe your body's support system, left to right weight distribution, breathing patterns, pelvic and rib cage positioning, head and neck alignment, jaw movement, and the compensation patterns that appear in your face. Then, based on your individual condition, I determine a training sequence that is more appropriate for you. If you have already tried many types of facial massage, face yoga, or facial lifting techniques, but still feel that the results are limited, or that things simply return to the way they were after some time, then perhaps you need to ask yourself a different question. Maybe what I really need is not another facial exercise, because I need to understand why my body keeps forcing my face to compensate. Today, based on some of the most common body compensation patterns, I will guide you through the series of assessments and exercises for nasolabial folds whole body structural kinetic chain, starting with the key areas where problems most commonly appear. As you follow along, observe your own body carefully. Once whether there are different between your left and right sides, and pay attention to which movements feel especially difficult for you. Throughout this process, you will be observing, assessing, and making adjustments at the same time. But please remember, today's training is designed around common compensation patterns. It does not mean that everyone should follow exactly the same training approach. The same facial problem can have completely different structural causes, and the same exercise may require different modifications and a different training sequence for different people. So the deeper purpose of today's training is to help you begin understanding your own body, to recognize asymmetries, restrictions, and compensation patterns that you may never have noticed before. Because real effective change does not come from blindly doing some exercises. It begins with identifying the true source of the problem, then following the right sequence to gradually rebuild balance throughout the body. According to nasolabial fold structural kinetic chain, this assessment begins with the body regions that are most likely to develop compensation, easiest to observe, and most closely connected to head, neck, and jaw control. The sequence includes 6 key areas and 7 assessment movements. First one is foot support. This exercise called ground support scan. Stand with your feet hip width apart. You may keep your eyes open or closed. Slowly shift your weight to the left. Return to center. Then shift to the right. Don't simply move, but you need to observe which side accepts your weight more easily, which foot feels the ground more clearly, which side feels more stable. You may immediately notice that your 2 feet feel different. This is a process of reconnecting your awareness with your body. Take your time and notice where your center of gravity naturally wants to go. Number 2, pelvis and hip. This exercise is called single leg pelvic control. Stand next to the wall or support if needed. Lift one foot slightly off the floor. We need to observe, does your pelvis drop? Does your body lean to one side? This practice clearly demonstrates how differences in foot support and hip control may influence the position of your trunk, head, and eventually your face. For daily practice, begin with a supported single leg stance. Gently tuck your tailbone and maintain a neutral pelvis throughout the exercise. If this movement feels difficult, it usually means your body needs to improve stability in nearby or related regions before progressing. Number 3, breathing at the core. This exercise called 360-degree ribcage breathing. Lie on your back with your legs resting on the wall or chair. Keep both hips and the knees at approximately 90 degrees. Allow your tailbone to rest gently on the floor and maintain a neutral pelvis. Place your hands around the lower ribs. Slowly inhale. We need to observe. Do both sides of your rib cage expand equally? Slowly exhale. And we need to observe. Do both sides return naturally? If one side expands easily while other barely moves, it may indicate an asymmetry in breathing mechanics and rib cage mobility. The purpose of this exercise is to restore coordination between pelvis, diaphragm, core, and ribcage. Finish by moving into child pose. Breathe slowly and feel your back ribs gently expand with each inhale. Reconnect your awareness with your diaphragm and ribcage through your breath. Number 4, thoracic rotation. This exercise is called thoracic rotation reset. Sit comfortably with your spine tall. Rotate through your thoracic spine first. Allow your neck to follow, then your head. Finally, let your eyes move to the end range. We need to observe, is turning left easier or is turning right easier? Persistent ribcage rotation may cause the neck to compensate in order to keep the eyes facing forward. This may influence the head position and eventually change jaw movement. Number 5, head and neck. This exercise called head-neck release. Place a foam roller beneath the base of the skull and upper neck. Slowly nod yes, then gently shake your head no. We need to observe, do you feel stiffness, pulling, or any discomfort? If so, repeat the movement several times until the area begins to relax. The goal is to help the head and neck return to a more balanced position before integrating jaw movement. Number 6, jaw control. The exercise is called jaw tracking reset. Place the tip of your tongue gently against the roof of your mouth. Slowly open your mouth. Observe your jaw path. Does it move straight down, or does it drift to one side? Do not try to open as wide as possible. If the jaw shifts, reduce the range of motion and practice only within the range where the movement remains smooth and controlled. Gradually improve the movement over time. If you notice the significant jaw deviation, you may now understand why we don't focus on jaw alone. Instead, we work through the entire structural kinetic chain beneath it. Last one, number 7, full body integration. It's also called ground to face integration. Step into reverse lunge position. Maintain a neutral pelvis and an upright body. Inhale for 3 seconds. Allow a gentle thoracic rotation. Let the neck follow, then the head. Finally, move your eyes to end range. Exhale for 3 seconds as you return to center. Repeat on the opposite side. This movement integrates the entire chain, from foot support, ankle, hip and pelvis, to core, ribcage, neck, and finally eyes. Finally, return to relax the jaw and naturally balance the facial posture. All those exercises include 3 essential steps. First one is perform the movement. The second one is observe the differences. It also develops awareness and reconnect your mind with your body. Number 3 is adjust and repeat. Refine the movement with each repetition and gradually build better control. This is not a simply exercise. It's a process of restoring communication between your brain and your body through movement.